What's your deal, dude? Okay. What about what about the killing? Are you okay? Uh-huh. Oh my. You can't be serious.
I burned an orphanage too!
You what?
Welcome everyone to the weapons portion of this huge-ass Guts and Blackpowder content drop. We have a total of 2 new weapons and a new utility to go over, so let's just get right into it. First up to the plate, we have the Siege Engineer Armor, and this is a new utility for the Sapper class.
I found this armor from the body of a dead soldier. It'll serve you well against those cannibals.
It costs 6,000 francs. Holy shit! That was the first initial price until it had 2 whole changes. The first one resorting it to 3,000, and then the final one just completely tossing the idea of utility out the window and making it a consumable at 100 francs. And for those who don't know what the word consumable means, this item will not be a permanent purchase. Rather, you have to buy it again upon death. So be careful when you're using this item. And I already staked out the clause. For those who are wondering whether or not this will be beneficial inside of campaign matches, because you're not going to be able to rack up 100 francs for winning a campaign match, unless you're on hardcore. I think. This item won't go away until you die, so it will carry on into the next campaign mission if you complete that one without dying. So overall, it will be beneficial. The armor gives a 33% resistance to all incoming physical attacks, and this means claw and zapper axe damage. It has a 50% explosive damage resistance, minus our own grenades, so you can't be kamikazing into hordes. With this explosive resistance buff, you can survive multiple explosions from a barrel, and you can even attack one head-on and survive. And it also has some reductions. It has a 9% base walk speed reduction and a 32% repair amount reduction. So the normal sapper wouldn't take as long to build a barricade, a stake, and a caltrop than if you were wearing the armor. If you're not wearing the armor, it takes 9 hits to build a barricade, 7 hits to build a stake, and 1 hit to build a caltrop. And if you are wearing the armor, then it takes 13 hits to build a barricade, 9 hits for the stake, and 2 hits for the caltrop. So there definitely is an increase in taking time to build structures and repairing structures if you are wearing the armor. The only thing the armor does not reduce is your swing speed.
Muy bueno, delicioso.
Because the Sapper class already swings slow enough. It does say here that the Sapper will be transformed into the Engineer, so it's possible that another subclass is going to be entering the game with this update. The last stat here, and an important one, is that you will burn alive quicker. Yep, that is the that is the stat. Yeah. Fire damage increases by 20%. So any of the fires by igniters or on the map in general will set your character to the burn alive state much quicker.
How quick, JMD?
I'm glad you asked, viewer. I did some testing while wearing the Siege Engineer armor and not wearing the Siege Engineer armor, and if I were to compare the two, wearing the Siege Engineer armor, it takes about 15 seconds from when you get that fire applied to your character to fully dying to the fire. And if you're not wearing the Siege Engineer armor, then it takes around 20 seconds. And this, of course, is just estimated numbers. I'm going to go ahead and say it's about a 5 to 6 second difference from the fire fully killing you, whether or not you're wearing the Siege Engineer armor. That is all of the stats for the new Siege Engineer armor, the new utility inside of the game. Now let's jump into the 2 new weapons, which I'm sure everyone is excited for. And of course, this will be a permanent purchase. It's the new Pickaxe weapon for the Sapper class.
This is just a normal pickaxe. I found it in the hands of an armored soldier. I believe it was one of those French engineers that I've heard of. I have no use for it, though. Please, take it.
And this will be available for 400 francs. It does 100 damage, which will be the highest damage dealing melee weapon in the game right now. It does 15 more than the Sapper's Axe. It roughly has the same swing rate as the Sapper's Axe, being 1/10 of a second faster. It has a 1 hit per swing, which we will get more into, and it has a higher headshot damage multiplier, 6 times compared to the Sapper's Axe 5 times. The range isn't going to be too noticeable, so I wouldn't worry about that. I would have worried about the range before if you're planning to use the pickaxe with the the Siege Engineer armor because the walk speed debuff used to be at a greater percentage. But now that it's at 9% debuff for a walk speed, I don't think it really affects it too much, which is why I probably wouldn't worry about the range on this melee weapon. It's actually a greater range than the Sapper's Axe. Most of the melee weapons in the game right now do splash damage, or to get technical, have a 10 penetration, hitting multiple zombies in the vicinity. But with the pickaxe, you will only be attacking one zombie per swing, with its penetration being 1. This is exactly the same as the pike for the infantry class, having the same penetration stat. So unlike the Sapper's Axe, if you do use the pickaxe, you will only be able to hit one zombie at a time. And now, if you are wondering if the pickaxe can shove just like the Sapper's Axe, it can. And in this newest update, the shove allows you to stun lock zappers. Thank God! Alongside Shamblers, Runners, and Igniters, they can also be stun locked. We now have the ability to stun lock zappers. Holding the shove ability will block the zapper's axe attack and throw them off balance for a little bit. And since we are on the topic of stun locking zombies, I want to quickly throw in that the carbine weapon can now stun lock as well. The carbine has the ability to shove zombies, and it does do damage. It does 10 damage when you are shoving. The carbine's going to be a pretty good weapon to use now. This is a huge buff for the carbine. I think a lot of people are going to switch to the carbine now when you're playing infantry class if you were using the musket before. I know the primary reason before when people were using the carbine was because of the quick reload that it provided, but now that it has the shove ability as well, I think this is definitely going to have a lot more favoritism to it compared to the musket and bayonet combo. I'll let you guys decide. And last but not least, or least but last, and the last of the least, the double barrel pistol has finally arrived for the officer class.
This one's a very peculiar item. It's no different than your typical flintlock pistol, but it has an additional barrel. Very expensive piece of equipment. And you seem to be one rich man.
This weapon was actually first introduced for a short time period in the COB update, but it was removed shortly after since it wasn't supposed to formally be released yet, or if there were some balance issues that they still had to figure out. But it has brought the milk back. The double barrel pistol is available for the officer class at 2,500 francs. Another hefty load of francs currency that you're gonna have to spend on this new weapon. If we were to compare this to the normal pistol for the officer in the game right now, the penetration is the same, but the damage, reload time, pellets, and the max distance is all different. So let's get into it. One huge negative is the reload time. The stat here displays 8 seconds, and this would be correct if you were to reload one barrel, but reloading both barrels totals to be a little over 10 seconds. The officer's pistol does a total of 6 seconds. Another negative would be the max distance, as the double barrel pistol's range is reduced by 75, totaling to 275, compared to the pistol's 350. So you're not going to be able to shoot as far as you would with the normal pistol. However, to get into some of the positives, the double barrel pistol does have one more pellet over the normal pistol. And yes, I'm stating the obvious. With this brings a new ability called double shot. This allows you to target multiple zombies with a single shot, or to blast a bigger load onto one zombie with a double shot.
Pause.
This will be a fine addition to your pristine collection so far, and if you don't have anything, well, that's just too fucking bad. These 3 new items, I think, are going to be a little game-changing for sure. I'm excited to see what people do with the Siege Engineer armor, but I'm also excited to see the double barrel pistol and the pickaxe get used inside of this game now. Let me know what you guys think about these weapons in the comment section down below. And also, I know we just got done with tax season. We're all a little dry in the pockets, but the Siege Engineer armor price, what are your thoughts on it? Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me. My name's JMT, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.